Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Once in a while, a movie does surprise me. Mainly, and these are the ones that normally surprise me when I haven't really heard much about this movie. And in this case, I hadn't even heard anything about this movie. It flew completely under the radar as far as I'm concerned. I'm not really sure what was um, the consensus for people who have actually watched this movie. And I'm guessing this movie is from 2015, so I'm going to have spoilers in this movie. I'm guessing, there's a set of people who would have watched this movie because of the actors, because of the storyline, and they would have been pleasantly surprised, I guess, because it's got mostly positive reviews. The other factor about this is actually a Canadian movie, although it's set in the United States, set in somewhere in New York, and there's a little bit of traveling going around. So the movie I'm talking about is 2015's Remember, which, like I said, completely below the radar. It is a Canadian film, drama, thriller, written by Adam McGowan. I've seen a couple of his movies. Written by Benjamin August, starring Christopher Plummer, Bruno Gars, Jürgen Prochnow, another really good actor, Heinz Levin, Henry Czerny, Dean Norris, and Martin Landau, the late great Martin Landau. So the names, this was basically my thinking process when I was checking into this. Like, sounds interesting. Saw the plot line, which is about two sentences or something. Read it, thought it might be interesting. Saw Christopher Plummer's in it, somebody who I watched over the years and I really like and admire. Then I saw late great Martin Landau and then Jürgen Prochnow. I was thinking, might be worthwhile watching. I was glad that I watched this movie. So it's basically a co-production of Canada and Germany, but like I said, it's shot in Canada, somewhere in Toronto, I guess, or in the GTA area, and it is set in the United States, New York, and then it is set, there's a little bit of traveling going on. So like I mentioned, it was from 2015. It won at the 4th Canadian Screen Awards. The movie won for Best Original Screenplay and for nominated for Best Motion Picture. So basically, Christopher Plummer plays 89-year-old, former Auschwitz survivor who moved to the United States. So he's a German Jew who moved to the United States, and he and his wife are living in a what do you call it? They're living in a really nice senior citizen center, which got really got good facilities and stuff. And she has just passed away, so he's the Jews have a ceremony known as Shiva, so he's actually going through that. At the end of the ceremonies, he is informed and he's got dementia, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that. So he's got dementia, so he tends to forget a lot about, don't worry, I don't have dementia, but he tends to forget a lot about, like when he wakes up in the morning or wakes up from his sleep, he immediately calls out for his wife, Ruth. So one of his friends at the center is Martin Landau's character, played by, Martin Landau's character, and he plays the character named Max. So Max tells him at the end of the functions, when the family and all is gathered at the center, he tells him, Zev, Christopher Columbus, he said, I've left a letter for you, you're supposed to read it, do not tell anybody else, and follow it closely. So in this letter, Martin Landau's character Max has actually mentioned about the whereabouts of a name called Rudi Kullander, who is a German veteran World War, who is a suspected Nazi. So Martin Landau says he has found out that their Nazi, the guy who murdered their family, a Nazi general or Nazi soldier, is now in the United States and under the name of Rudi Kullander. So it's been several years, of course, several decades, in fact. But he's not sure which Rudi Kullander, which area. So there are several Rudi Kullanders in the United States, listed in the United States. So Max is wheelchair bound and he's got difficulty in breathing. And even though Zev has got dementia. Now that his wife is dead, he doesn't have much to live out for. So they have a pact between them that he will go and hunt down this um, Rudy Kulander, um, confront him with the fact that he was a Nazi soldier who murdered their families, and then kill him. So Max has said certain things like money and stuff, so that he can travel to different places using cash and taking bus tickets, and not using his passport, things like that. So he sets up hotel rooms in different cities, and Zev travels. So you'll be thinking, like, how does a person who once he wakes up kind of forgets a lot of things? So he's got the letter that he can refer, and a couple of times he's written on his hand, read the letter. So on his travels, and he sneaks out, so nobody knows where he's going except for Max. Max knows he's going on this, but um, the authorities at the elderly center and his son, played by Henry Cerny, start looking out for him. They call the cops, but because he's going um, you know off the grid, so to speak, without leaving a paper trail behind him, the money takes care. And Max is called in advance to these hotels and booked rooms for this guy. He just has to pay cash. So like there's a couple of things, like on the way Zev starts speaking to a young child who's traveling with his brothers to go meet their dad, who they're separated from who's separated from their mom. And initially it's all very friendly, but when he wakes up from his sleep, he calls out for Ruth, and now he doesn't know who the boy is. The boy gets a little bit scared. However, he does tell his dad that it looks like Zev could use some help, and that father offers some assistance, but he doesn't require it. There's a cab waiting for him, or a limo waiting for him. So he goes to each of these places. The first one he finds a man named Rudy Kulander, but the guy turns out to be Jewish. The second one, he was a German veteran of World War II in his home, but he was not there at that time, so he couldn't be this person. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the name Rudy Kulander is a fake name. That this person, the actual name of the Nazi soldier is Otto Wallisch, and that's the person that he's trying to find and kill. But the name Rudy Kulander is what he is going by now. I'm not really sure how Max came to find out. But Max is incapacitated, that's why he doesn't really know. But I think through their contacts, he's found out that he's traced Otto Wallisch, that he now goes by the name Rudy Kulander. So the first guy turns out to be a veteran World War a German soldier, but he wasn't there at the time, so Rudy leaves him. The second one is in a nursing home in Hearst, Ontario, but he turns out to have been a prisoner in Auschwitz, just like Max and him. And what happens is he was actually sent there because he was a homosexual. So Zev initially thinks he's the person. He brandishes the gun, and then he apologizes to this man. Zev shows him a lot of sympathy for the fact that he had to do that. So like that, he finds several people, none of them to be. Once in Boise, Idaho, he waits for the Rudy Kulanders in that house, but runs into his son. Turns out that Rudy Kulander passed away 3 months ago, and then the son takes him in and says, like, he pretends to be a friend of Rudy Kulander. So the son, played by Dean Norris, who is a sheriff now, he says, if you don't mind, you can actually sit, maybe we'll have a talk, and they have a drink and all that. After some time, a few things don't add up, and he notices the tattoo of the number, so Auschwitz and all those concentration camps had a serial number tattooed for their prisoners. So he turns out that this guy and that particular Rudy Kulanders are Nazis, definitely, and Nazi and Jew haters, basically. So this guy starts threatening him. Zev actually loses control of his bladder. He's a little bit scared, but he manages to outwit this guy and shoots him dead, and he then leaves. So finally he ends up he has a little bit of an accident. He goes to a hospital, and then his son manages to track him. So it's about now. It's about a week has passed by. So finally, the son knows, okay, this guy is actually in this place. But he leaves the hospital before the son can reach. So now he calls the cabs and tries to find out where Zev has left. Zev has found the Rudy Kulander that he's actually looking for, and he goes to this beautiful house in the countryside, and he goes there and finds the character played by the Rudy Kulander is played by here. Um, oh boy, Jürgen Prochnow. So he goes there, sits, and takes a cup of coffee from the daughter of Rudy Kulander. And when this guy wakes up from his sleep, he comes down, they both talk, and they start speaking. They go outside, and it looks like he actually knows what's happening. So he doesn't want his daughter and granddaughter to actually hear. The granddaughter thinks it's her granddad's old friend has actually come to visit. She's actually kind of happy with that. But then they start talking, and Zev confronts him and tells him that, are you the Rudy Kulander that I'm looking for? And he brandishes gun in front of him and threatens him and tells him, you murdered my family and Max's family. And then he calls him Otto, and then he asks him, why do you call me that, Otto? That's your real name, right? You're Otto Wallisch. And in front of the daughter and granddaughter, he makes Rudy admit to his daughter that he was in the SS and he killed many people. However, his real name is not Otto Wallisch. His real name is Kulibert Strum. And he, in fact, Zev, who's got dementia, is the actual Otto Wallisch. But he has completely forgotten the fact that he is actually a former Nazi sympathizer. So what happened is, when Auschwitz was being attacked by in the war, they were attacked by the Allies. In order to escape, both Kulibert Strum and Zev got themselves tattooed with serial numbers, one right next to the other, to pretend that they were actually Jewish prisoners, and they got through. And they were protected by the Allies, and they both made their way, but at different places, and they've lost touch. They both made their way to the United States, where they lived the life of Rudy Kulander and Zev. So now the son has come as well, and they all shocked. The son is also shocked. Is this true? Are you actually Zev, Otto Wallisch? And Zev is actually shocked completely. He kills Kulibert Strum dead, and then commits suicide. That's how the movie ends. Towards the last, and the last thing that you actually see is Max and the rest of the nursing home residents. They're watching the news and they hear about this, and they get to know about the murder suicide, and that Max tells them that he recognized Zev when at the home, at the nursing home. When he saw Zev, he recognized him as Otto Wallisch, and he was responsible for killing Max's family. But because he had dementia, he couldn't actually get revenge. He didn't want to say anything, but this was the only way that he could actually do it. So both Wallisch and Strum killed Max's family, and then now Max is finally got revenge for his family's death, and he starts crying. And on the desk of Max, you see a copy of his letter to Zev is shown, along with a picture of Otto Wallisch, and you see a young Christopher Plummer, and a handwritten confession written by Max as well. So that is the twist ending that came and blew my mind. I wasn't expecting that. Although both of them now are sorry about the fact that they did a lot of atrocities during the war. The fact is they were both war criminals, but what an amazing acting masterpiece by Christopher Plummer as this person who's got dementia, and amazing acting. Dean Norris, who plays the racist son of one of the Rudy Kulanders, really good job. You can actually hate the guy, I'm so happy that he got killed. Martin Landau did a good job as well. Jürgen Prochnow, they actually managed to get sympathy from me while I was watching it. So, amazing acting movie. I've got nothing but positive things to say about this movie. Um, I cannot give it a low rating because I was really, really surprised. So I'm going to give it a, again, I'm going to look at the fact that this is a smaller budget movie, went completely under the radar. No, what do you call it? No expectations whatsoever, but I was blown away. So I'm going to give this, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really, really fantastic movie to watch. So I hope you guys watch it, enjoy it, rent it, buy the Blu-ray, buy the DVD. I think I will definitely look out for the DVD if I can sometime soon. So, big recommendation from me. Thank you guys. Good night.